A 400-ton transformer needs shifting to a local industrial unit on the back of a massive transporter.
You ever moved anything this big before?
No, I think the biggest thing I've done is 200 tonnes. It's quite unusual, really, so it'll be quite nice.
The plan is that the gigantic load will leave the docks and inch its way to a paper plant on an industrial estate 1.5 miles down the road. But this super-sized shipment has a top speed of just 3 miles per hour, and there's plenty of obstacles along the way.
As you can tell by the number of wheels on it and the size of this trailer, it gives you an indication of the size of the load, and then also gives you a fair indication of the weight that's involved as well.
Duncan's normally a stickler for vehicle checks, but he thinks he might be tempted to turn a blind eye this time.
If you think I'm going to check 176 tyres, then you can forget it. I'll take it as read that every one of those tyres is perfectly roadworthy.
The lorry might be ready, but the Cumbrian weather's playing up, and there's already a setback.
The main problem that we've got at the moment is the fact that the wind's too strong to allow the crane to operate to lift this thing off the ship.
The forecast is for the wind to drop somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock tonight.
As night falls, the wind finally eases off, so it's all hands on deck to get the load craned onto the lorry. The interceptors know manoeuvring it on public roads in the dark could be fraught with danger. So while Mark oversees the loading, Duncan's first job is to make sure the roads ahead are completely clear of any obstacles, which can mean taking drastic measures.
Depending on the angle that it approaches, it might be necessary to take down that lamppost. There's no sort of finesse in it. They'll just take an angle grinder to it and chop it down, and then it will get replaced at the company's expense in due course.
Back at the docks, it's far from plain sailing. Just manoeuvring the load through the yard is proving to be tougher than expected. And the delays are getting the better of Duncan's stomach.
Joe's going to get some chocolate. What? Joe's going to get emergency rations. We're starting to flag now. It's 10 hours without food.
Once out of the docks, the lorry approaches its biggest challenge, an extremely narrow bridge. With over 400 tons on board, they can't afford to get it stuck.
It cannot stop on that bridge as it comes over. Basically, if it stops, the bridge will come down.
The fate of the bridge is in the hands of the lorry driver. All the interceptors can do is sit tight. If he snags the side, it could force the lorry to stop, which would spell disaster.
Yeah, not much spare.
That was close. That was millimetres, that.
So far, so good. No major issues.
They're over the bridge, but not out of the woods. The Cumbrian rain is right on cue, making the road conditions even more treacherous.
We started off in quite bright sunshine today, and we've now degenerated into wet.
And despite their earlier sweep, there are yet more obstacles in the road.
But there's a big air pack.
Oh, yeah.
It may have taken over 14 hours, but the lengthy load has finally arrived at its destination. It's time for the interceptors to call it a night.
From the police point of view, it's gone quite well, and I think both of us now just want to get back into some dry clothes and get home, something to eat and bed.